Hello everybody and welcome to the Coffee Club with me and JP. Obviously JP, good morning, how are you? Wednesday morning. Well,
Morning,
I could say it'd be a positive podcast, mate, but not a podcast we're expecting to obviously do, mate. But good morning, mate, how are you? And obviously your first initial reaction to the match last night, mate, obviously a draw against Shakhtar Donetsk. Not what we're hoping for in terms of before the match. But good morning, mate, and I hope you're very well.
Hi, good morning, mate. Nice to see your wee happy face again, mate. As I say, mate, we've always got one another for that kind of stuff anyway, so we'll never be doing gloom, will we? It's funny you say coffee morning. I'm no long finished my coffee, actually, but I've got a wee bottle of gluten juice beside me here, so... but it's nice to join you in this Wednesday Coffee Club, as you've named it for us today. So, only last night, mate, another frustrating night under the disco lights, as you say. It's one of the ones, mate. It comes down to, in my opinion, Ryan, it comes down to experience. A bit of naivety, especially in my play. A lot of our passing drills breaking down last night. Getting away stupid possession in really tight areas, difficult areas. That's going to cost you, especially when you're when you're on the break and you're breaking as a team, and then when they've got a guy the speed of Mudryk or whatever way you want to pronounce his name, and obviously that stayed out ball. I mean, I said that to one of the boys last night. I said that stayed out ball. That's he's their main man. Mm-hmm. He's their out ball. He gets them up the park. Because if you take away that, you eliminate that threat. Their build-up's very slow. It's all side to side and back and side. So, and their main playmaker in the midfield wasn't there last night as well. Mm-hmm. The boy that can normally pick passes. So, again, just frustrating. You go 1-0 up again against that team, and then you just can't seem to capitalise and get a bit of daylight between you, or make the scoreline look a bit more comfortable. And again, Ryan, it's been a story of the campaign, in my opinion, for us, because the amount of chances we've created alone, mate, defies people saying, we're not good enough, or we're not this, we're not that, or some people have come away with, we've embarrassed ourselves and we've done this and we've done that. I heard an absolute maniac on Talk Sport. I don't know. I think he's sniffing glue or something like that. I don't know what's wrong with the guy, man. I really don't. I don't know what's up with him. I don't know if he's maybe fell out with somebody in his family and he's just took it out on the cameras and he just went on a mad rant. So, as I say, it's frustrating for us as fans. It's frustrating. I think the players are frustrated, I know, because you listen to Matt O'Reilly's post-match as well, and obviously he they're trying to push him for an answer. What do you think's went wrong? What do you think? Blah blah blah, and he's went like that. No, I don't know. He says I don't know. He says I didn't feel anxiety. I didn't feel. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of it comes down to game awareness at that level, Ryan. I think a lot of it comes down to experience at that level. I think if you're more experienced at that level, when you know what's expected when you're getting into the games, you've got to be at it. You're bang on point, and it's just not to be. And I think it's for this squad, because obviously you've only got Joe Hart, McGregor, and Forrest, who have got experience at that level. I think personally for this not just this campaign, but just for this squad, it's been a season too early, because obviously they've got to gain the experience first and foremost. But for any Celtic fan that thinks, we've got the divine right to be getting in there and challenging for second and getting in there and challenging for third, but we weren't in the competition for 5 years. You can't just drop out the competition for 5 years and then expect to come back, unless you've spent hundreds of millions of pounds and bought an array of top-class talent, right? you're never going to just come back after 5 years and make a sudden impact straight away with really good recruitment that we've been able to do and guys who are still developing their own games. It's just not going to happen. And again, it all comes down to experience. It all falls back on experience. I know people are maybe not like hearing that, but it does. It makes a difference. Especially in small moments, like you're rushing shots and you're maybe no, like Kyogo's chance last night, I just personally didn't think he had it with conviction. I don't think he was convinced enough that he was even going to score, let alone anything else. So I do think a lot of it's down to experience. But you're right, mate. It's totally frustrating for us being on the sides and being in the stands and maybe even watching the game on the telly because domestically we've not got a problem scoring goals. So it's then trying to transfer it there to the bigger platform. And in my opinion, mate, it's just it's small margins, but it's obviously, and also, you need a bit of a mindset shift as well to take it there, and we've not been able to do that up to now.
A few comments on YouTube, JP. Murray again, morning lads, morning mate, hope you're all right. Strange Love the Doctor, nice name there. I'm disappointed but not downbeat about Celtic in the future. If we had a Mudryk, we'd have smashed the Champions League. I'll go back to comments in a minute. But JP, in terms of experience, mate, you know yourself, you play football, mate, experience does count for a lot in terms of competitions and cup competitions, etc. I think it's just frustration's the full thing. I don't think we've not been absolutely destroyed like PSG and Barcelona. We've not went. I know we're still going to Nou Camp, so I'm saying this now before we go to not the Nou Camp. Sorry, before we go to Bernabeu. I'm saying we're moving pumped tonight, so...
I thought you'd found out something there and you were just wanting to tell us and throw us in there.
Before we go to Bernabeu, this is what I'm saying. Before we go there, well, if we get destroyed, if we do well, that's another game. But until the now, we've not been embarrassed. We've not been totally outclassed. We've maybe outclassed in certain moments of games. But as a collective, I want to say we've been definitely better than the last campaign with Rodgers, because we get 7 away to PSG and 5 at home and Barcelona and Bayern Munich, etc. So we've progressed in that sense. We've not progressed in points totals or really in terms of possession sense in the. For me, I just it's frustration, JP. It's just frustration for me, mate. Mm-hmm. In terms of, I know we talk about experience, but see, I played up front, mate. You've played football, you know yourself. In terms of finishing, for me, that's not experience. That's just not having enough belief in yourself to go and win and go and score goals. Because, like you say, in Scotland, I think Matt O'Reilly says at the presser at the end, if that was Scotland, we're probably winning that game comfortably.
Aye.
So, is it a change of mindset when they go into these games where they panic in front of goal? Oh, right, we missed the first chance, right? Oh, the second one. But if that's in Scotland, look, Kyogo against Motherwell, misses, but then he scores. But it seems to be when he missed that chance last night, it's just killed him. After that, I didn't see him the rest of the game. I know it wasn't much longer. He was on the park, but again on Kyogo, JP, for me anyway, I've been crying out for they two to play together. Mm-hmm. But Kyogo was playing more like a 10. He was going wide and he was going to the left and the right. He was all the other place. For me, he can't do that. I know he does that better than Giakoumakis. He takes the ball and he can go deep. But for me, he's a striker. So if you're going to play the two of them up front, just play a flat 2 up front. You need to change your system and just go 4-4-2 and just play it. Let the two do their job up front, because I do believe they two score goals together 100%. But Giakoumakis again last night, for me, his goal scoring record tells you he's deadly. He's deadly in the box. He might not do the runs Kyogo does, but I think you need to use Giakoumakis wisely. When the ball's into him, he'll draw fouls, and the box he'll score headers, he'll hold the ball up. But if you don't use him wisely, in my opinion, JP, he is a bit of a passenger, because if you don't use him to his strength, he's not going to be doing 50-yard doggies. He might do it to get into the game and help the team, but that's not his strength. His strength is what he done last night in the box, holding the ball up, getting fouls. You probably see if you got that boy booked in the first half, he might have got sent off because he was all about him in the second half. So I think overall, mate, it's just frustration. I do agree with you in terms of teams like Club Brugge and Salzburg and etc. They're in these competitions regularly now, so they're getting more money, they're getting more experience. It's just fine margins, in my opinion. It's a comment from John. Small margins, other teams have been deadly in the final third. I would say so. That is probably JP the collective. To be honest, mate, we've had 68 shots, I think, in goal, 22 in target, only 3 goals. At any level, that's not good enough.
60 bit shots?
68 shots in goal, 22 in target, I think it says. And
obviously, all these shots aren't directly at goal either, but I know what you mean.
I think in terms of...
It's a humongous amount of shots.
If won football games...
5 games.
It's all right saying keep the back door shut, but if you're not scoring goals, I know this is Michael Owen stuff here that he says, but you're not going to win football games if you can't be clinical. It's as simple as that.
That's true.
It's as I think it was like 1 goal in open play. So that's not good enough for Celtic. It's not good enough for anything.
Two, because Jota was open playing, so did Giakoumakis last night, wasn't it?
So I think it was like Murray. I think it was 2 goals, 1 own goal. That's what it was, sorry. Now you're right, mate. The thing for me, and
says, regardless of whether it's an own goal or not, it's a goal.
The thing you said as well, JP, about Jason Cundy, I'm going to mention his name. Talksport this morning saying that Celtic are a 4th-tier club, and wait a minute, Jason, Juventus got knocked out. Juventus spend millions every year. Why you not saying the Italian league's pushed in? Or is that because it's the Italian league and the mafia may come and get you or something? Is that what it is? Do you know what I mean? Just because it's Scotland and it's Celtic, and see if Celtic would come in for Jason Cundy as a player and he knocked him back, I don't think he would knock Celtic back because he's big in every club he's played for. Chelsea at the time won their big club. For me, Chelsea are only big in money and stature. They're no big in fans. They're no bigger than Celtic as a club, as nationwide. So teams like Juventus go out now and again, Ajax go out now and again, PSV, they all go out in Champions League stuff. So is it just because we're a Scottish club that you're trying to say that we're embarrassed? See, if Rangers get put, Rangers are already based out of Europe, basically. If they get beaten tonight, right, is he going to come out in the morning and say Rangers are embarrassed? I very doubt it, because we all know
the amount of millions Man City have spent on it, and they've still not won it. They threw money at it to do it every season, and they've still not won it. They came up short in the final against Chelsea. But in my opinion, mate, money can certainly help you, but it can't always buy you success. That's not the answer if you want success. You need to work at it hard, and you need to do it as a team and as a collective. If you've got players like, look at PSG, they've got a front three, they're brilliant on the ball and they're brilliant on the eye-line. But see, when they're asked to do the dogged side of the game, they're not interested, they all start walking about. That's why I says at the time, when I said it, I think it was last year, PSG will struggle with that mindset to win the Champions League, because the front three, when they've not got the ball, they don't want to sit in compactly, and they don't go hunting in packs like other teams do. But when they've not got the ball, they just start walking about as if they're in a huff, as if fucking ball's not coming to me. I don't want the ball now. But then when they want the ball, they're full of energy, full of life, want to showcase their talent. Aye, they're talented, but talent only gets you so far, Ryan. You've then got to put all the dogged work in behind it, mate, and you've got to work hard to develop the talent. Celtic can't afford. They're not in the market to go and spend 50 million on one player and 60 million on that guy and 70 million on that guy. We can't do it, and we probably never will be likely to do it unless some fucking wizard comes and goes abracadabra and takes us out of this league and puts us in a rich, wealthy league, which probably isn't going to happen anytime soon. So the way we've got to do it is we've got to recruit talent for all in the globe, the way Ange is trying to do, and then put them as a team and develop them. That's the only way we can do it. And right now, Ryan, the team we've got, unfortunately, don't have experience in terms of playing a lot of European football. They don't have a lot of game under their belt, apart from 3 guys I mentioned them earlier in my squad. I don't care what anybody says, that makes a big difference. A year and a half ago, mate, Matt O'Reilly was playing in League One with MK Dons.
Well, even Kyogo, Maya and Hatate, they're playing in the G League.
They're playing in Japan. They were playing in Japan. Juranovic, a year and a bit ago, was playing with Legia Warsaw. Had never played in the Champions League before. I know that sounds mental, the fact that he's Croatia's first choice right back as well. But it makes a difference, Ryan. Giakoumakis was playing with a team that get relegated in Holland for the top flight. Yep. Never played in Europe to before he came. Jota, again, was out on loan as a young boy in Spain. Then he got brought into Celtic. Again, had never played in Europe. He's got talent, don't get me wrong. But when you get against these guys, mate, you need to be that 1 or 2 yards sharper. You need to be that 1 or 2 yards quicker in your mind. And you need to be that 1 or 2 yards sharper as a team with the ball, on and off the ball. Because we've seen it through this campaign. You get a ball away, you get punished. Simple as that. Whereas, see, against teams like Motherwell, St Johnstone, St Mirren, Ross County, seeing you get a ball away, they've not got the manpower to cut through you and counter-attack on you the way that they scored last night. Mm-hmm. And by the way, it was a great goal. I mean, can't take anything away from the ball. That was a peachy goal. But in Europe, Ryan, you get punished. Whereas domestically, you don't. You get away with it domestically. And maybe that's part of the problem as well, Ryan. Maybe the fact is, when they're getting in there, again, due to the inexperience and everything else, they aren't being tested enough domestically, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So they're not being tested against, like, say, well, you're doing in England. I mean, you look at the teams in the array of talent that's doing in England, they're tested weekly. And even teams like Wolves have got players like Adama Traore and, you know, boys that have got raw quality about them. Who was it? Was it Brighton? They sold the boy Cucurella to Chelsea for over 20 million. Mm-hmm. Brighton, come on. You know what I mean? It's in terms of finances and everything else, we just can't do that now. And I'm not meaning finances make a difference. It doesn't, because I think we've played quite well in the Champions League. The frustrating part for me is we've just not been able to take our chances, mate. We've been goal shy. And obviously, if you take a lot more of these chances, like I say to you off camera, mate, we're sitting comfortably now. Either get into that Europa League draw the next round, or we're sitting fighting to finish second in that group comfortably if you take the chances. Because every game we've played, look at it back, and it could have been a different result. We had enough chances here in Poland to beat Shakhtar with 3 games. We had some really good chances against Real Madrid. The game could have been 3 each that night, people were saying. We had some really good chances against Leipzig at Celtic Park as well. Squandered. Probably the game away in Leipzig is probably the one game I would say so far in the group where we've, you know, I would say, right, really deserves to lose that game. If you look at the chances back, I mean, they had 2 goals chopped off as well. So, at least at the weekend there, we know how Leipzig felt. We had 2 goals chopped off. So, like, say, with them getting 2 goals chopped off, and then you look at the game back, I know, when you go and watch it again, you know, you could probably say that's the one game that we've maybe, I don't want to say looked out of depth, but we weren't at it properly. And we probably deserved to lose that game. But the rest of them were all frustrated with. And so's the manager. Because there was moments in each of the games, Ryan, that the game could have went so differently had we have took our chances. Now, in terms of taking the chances, Ryan, I don't know. I don't know what it's been with him. Matt O'Reilly kind of touched on it last night. It might be down to the fact is they're playing on a bigger stage, so they've got a wee bit more anxiety in them. Who knows? I don't know. But don't forget as well, this is Angie's first year in the Champions League as a manager. So he's never managed in there either. So it'll be a massive learning curve for him as well. And that's a good thing as well. Ange strikes me as the type of manager, Ryan, who will go away for us now. He'll be frustrated because, like I said to you, about the moments in games that we've had. But he'll go away and he'll know the new. Even at game 5, he will know the new. He probably knew this after game 2. Areas where we have lacked. And don't get me wrong, no an excuse, but would it have made a difference? Maybe last night, aye. Maybe the Leipzig game at Parkhead, aye. We've missed Jota and Callum McGregor's quality as an option in there as well. Don't get me wrong, the team have had to just roll their sleeves up and get on with it. They have done everything he's asked them to do, right? They've took the game to teams. They've tried to play their football. Last night, a couple of our passes just weren't there. They were going astray. They were going wayward. That happens, mate. But they've stuck to the letter of the law for him. Even the Joe Hart mistake there at Leipzig. You know, that's the way he's asking them to play, right?
Yep.
They've no went route one. They could have just have it. You're on the park yourself, mate. You know what it's like. You could easily just go, fuck this, and just go route one. They've not done it. They've tried to play. Even last night, there was a spell with Greg Taylor and Jens and Haddadi, and they played out, mate, and it was absolutely quality the way they done it in the first half. They beat their press. But see, the more and more they do it, Ryan, the more and more they're going to get better at it, mate. They're going to become accustomed to it. Fans are asking for change. Why? We've spent nearly 18 months with Ange, 16, 17 months, whatever it may be with Ange, playing a certain way. Why the fuck would we go and change it now? Just to appease a certain group of fans, because so what if we go and change it and we get romped? And then what if we go and change it and we only win 1-0? What exactly are we learning then? You know, so first campaign in the Champions League, you know, we don't get me wrong, we were in pot 4 to begin with. And I think I mentioned to you before it, I've not got high expectations, because if you don't set high expectations, then you can't be disappointed if it all goes tits up. We're 2 points better off than I thought we were going to get to begin with. Because I just didn't think, I thought the Champions League was just too early for this crop. I really did. And it showed in certain games in terms of their experience, game awareness, everything. It has showed the inexperience, the naivety in some of our play. In my opinion, Ryan, it showed tenfold.
Aye. Just go through some of the comments, JP, and I'll go to I'll read that back to you, mate. Shakhtar are the 11th Champions League. They have played Champions League 10 out of the last 11 years. For that clinical edge. I can see in terms of, I wouldn't say they're limits in the Champions League, but I would say they're seasoned pros in the Champions League. They've got that experience, they've got the know-how, but
10 out of the last 11 years, mate. Come on,
just in terms of last night, from the Shakhtar teams I've seen in the past, that's one of the worst teams I've seen a Shakhtar in a long time. I'm not saying they were poor, I'm just saying it's the poorest Shakhtar team I've seen. And the fact that we couldn't get any really 6 points off them, maybe in a year or two they're going to get better, because obviously the situation in Ukraine, they maybe can't have certain players playing, certain nationalities. That was quite an experienced team compared to what they've had before. And another comment as well, JP, well said, we got to be patient. I believe in Ange doing a great job. Only thing, I don't know why we signed Moy. I thought Moy done okay last night when he came on. I didn't think he done anything bad. Maybe a bit slow for maybe the Champions League in terms of his way of playing, but I think for a free transfer, I think we've got a bit of a bargain. He's not going to be an absolute standout every week. He's not going to be terrible. He's just going to be a decent, steady player for us in terms of quality. I think what he does on the ball, it maybe suits the Premier League in terms of maybe how quick he plays, etc. But in terms of the quality of him, I don't doubt his quality. Maybe he suits certain games. I thought he done okay last night. Maybe apart from his deliveries in the box, but there was a few players last night that did well deliveries. So, but on your point, JP, I agree with you, mate, in terms of being patient and obviously working at it. Like you say, mate, you can't just come after 5 years and expect us to be top of the league, top of the group. I did say that I did expect us to maybe try and challenge to get third. you can dream of finishing second. Why no dream? Why no dream having a miracle at a group stage? But finishing third was probably the thing you would need to try and get to, so it wasn't a massive failure in terms of how it looked. Not in terms of how we played, in terms of, if you look at the group, I think it's -7 or -8 goals, 2 points, you might think they've been destroyed. But we've not been. I put Twitter this morning about Jason Cundy. We've went toe-to-toe in terms of, we've no actually went toe-to-toe bombarding teams and etc. We've went toe-to-toe in terms of, we've tried to take the game with them. We've not sat back and let them come to us. We've actually tried to play football. We've tried to win the games. No against when we went to PSG, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, etc. under Rodgers. We just went and tried and defend. We just couldn't get up the park. We were 30 minutes away, basically, for getting a point. I know that sounds stupid, but McGregor missed a chance, Maeda missed a chance. If that's 1 or 2-0, it changes the game. Madrid need to come out their shell. They're class told in the end against Madrid. They're class told. The same as Leipzig are away. They're class told. They've got, right, there you go, right. Eden Hazard was on the bench last night. £100 million sitting in their bench. We're signing boys at £1.5 million. So you try to tell me finance, can he? Of course it helps. They've got a guy in the bench like that. They've got guys who aren't even playing in their squad worth £30-40 million. They're signing guys like Jovetic, who's away at Fontaine for £15 million and no
The difference is, Ryan, you're talking about Hazard. Hazard was already a ready-made player.
That's what I mean.
We're buying guys at 1.5 million and trying to develop their game.
That's what I said that to my old man this morning. We're signing guys who are coming in for £1.5 million to play. They're signing guys to come in and play and expect them to play without having to play in the competition, without being here before. Like you're saying, guys like Hatate coming for the J League. It might be a decent standard, but it's no Champions League. It's a massive step up. You've got Hazard, you've got guys like Werner coming in. They're all playing in that every single season. They're playing with better teams. The thing is, we need to realise, like I've said to you, JP, we need to realise we were the 4th team. We were expected to finish 4th. And if we finished 3rd or 2nd or whatever we finished, it'd be brilliant. You would take it brilliant. We've done well. The results, if you look at the results and go, I know the best. But in terms of performance-wise, I don't think we've been terrible. I don't think we've been phenomenal. It's frustration in terms of being clinical. If you look back at some of the chances we've missed, especially in Shakhtar Donetsk, you Maeda and you Jota, and you're thinking, Jesus Christ, if that's in Scotland, it's a goal, 100%. You won that game 4 or 5-0, but that's the quality you're stepping up against. And you don't really come against guys like Mudryk and Modric every week, so you've got to adapt your game. I do agree with you, JP. I think we spoke to Kevin Wilson, obviously, and we spoke to Barry Bannon on night as well, and he agreed as well that when you're playing against these guys like in St Johnstone, Ross County, St Mirren, etc., when you step up to play against your PSGs, your Leipzigs, etc., obviously it's going to be a test. But it's a come down. Big Kelvin said that we found it hard to play against these teams and then drag them down because, and he basically did admit, maybe it is because you were not getting tested week in, week out. We're not playing against this quality week in, week out. So we do play against that quality. It's a wee bit of a shock. Oh, fuck, he's quick. Oh, fuck, right there. Of course, got to be a shock. It doesn't matter for Celtic players, Rangers, Aberdeen. If you're going into a different cauldron against different players, you can do all the tactic works, you can do all this, but these guys are sharper than you. They're quicker than you. And this is where we need to get to this level. This is where you need to win the league every season. I'm sure, JP, if you win the league this year, you do go into next year. So,
I think you do, Ryan.
So that's another year.
I heard the guy speaking to Andy about that last night, and that's what he says.
So that's another year to prepare, recognise what you need to do better, and then you go in. It's a fan, it's frustration because we're doing sometimes we're doing simple things wrong, but this isn't just under Ange, it's happened under Stratton, it happened, I know we qualified with Stratton, etc., but even with Rodgers and Stratton and Lennon, Dyler and Europa League, it's simple mistakes we've always done. It's not like any of our managers changed it. Hopefully under Ange can change because I do agree, JP, that we do need to learn now. I think we've been in it for a while now, and I know we've been doing it for 5 years, but through previous campaigns we'll go, right, next time we'll learn. Oh fuck, right, we'll learn next year. I think now, next year's, if we do qualify for next year, in my opinion, I think we won the league. So I'm going to just talk it as we all qualify, right? Say you qualify for next year, you've got a pre-season to look at it again, to build, maybe spend a wee bit more if you can, depending on the finances, the budget. If you sell players, maybe add a wee bit more quality. I do feel we're missing maybe 2 to 3 real quality players, JP. Maybe in one position each, maybe at the back, midfield, striker, maybe in every position, every area of the park. Maybe I don't think it's in terms of, I don't think we're missing like your Messi's, etc. They're fucking different class, right? But it's fine margins, I think, JP. Obviously you need to, I just think in terms of last night, I thought in the game away from home in Shakhtar, when we got the goal, we kind of stopped playing and went into like survival mode. It was like, right, fuck, one in front. It's kind of what teams do at Celtic Park when they get a goal. Right, we just stopped playing, we just defend. We didn't defend, but we didn't go gung-ho that we probably should have. For me, when you get a goal when you play football, your tails are up and you keep going. You don't retract, and I think sometimes we retracted, especially in the away game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fine margins for me, mate. I'm like you. The more you're in this competition, the more you get experience, the more you're going to get know-how. And I think we lack as well, JP's, other teams do it as well. It's maybe the dirty experience side of the game, that tactical side of the game in this competition. Because like last night, right, on the goal, a lot of fans are obviously, I'm half and half about the goal, right? For me, I didn't play right back, right? So I was the defender, so I can't tell, right? But when you're faced up to somebody, right, you got 2 options here. Either he tries to dive in and get the ball, or he makes himself a tip and Mudryk passes him, or he hangs back, jockeys him, and hopes he can maybe defend the ball, right? He's not done very well, but he's still to turn into the park. You've still got your 2 defenders that you get past, so, and the guy's had an amazing strike. He should have done better, yes. I think when you look at it for the highlights, the ball looks like he could have got it. You've got to remember, this guy's sharp as fuck. He could have got that ball ahead of him. So
no, I know he has, but Juranovic is in and set, right? So he's back. He's already back there. He's got his feet. He's moved his feet enough to get him in there.
I do get it. I just think that I don't want to criticise him too much, but I do think he should have done better. But I thought it was going 2 minds whether to go or stay. But again, that's where the experience and the know-how goes, right? Now you go. Or you sit. If you know your defenders are there, if you've got to do that, then show them out wide. Don't show them in. You always show somebody out wide, because if you show them out wide, all you need to do is stop the cross. But if you show them inside, you've got a massive area to play in. You can play out wide, you can play 1-2s, you can play it in the box. So I was a defender, JP, but you always show down the line, you show them out that way. Show them away for the goal. You don't show them in the fucking goal. And I think maybe that's where the lack again, but he shouldn't have lacked experience. He's played in fucking top level for Croatia. He's here right back. So I just think it was just a thing, mate. He didn't defend it well. And the guy's just had a phenomenal strike. I didn't expect that. It was a phenomenal strike. And I do feel, like you, if they didn't have Mudryk in their squad last night, I do believe we won the game, because it was that bit of quality that's got him back in the game. And I do feel that that's maybe what we're lacking. I know we didn't have Jota and McGregor. Jota could have been no quality last night. But I just feel we're lacking a wee bit of quality to take us to the next level.
I just think, I agree with you there, mate, in terms of, you know, a wee bit of quality in certain moments. I do think this team are capable, but they've lacked this campaign a wee bit of the fine margin of quality in terms of going and, you know, showcasing that like in stages and matches. And we've lacked to do that, so we've not been able to do that. But again, mate, it all comes down to, I mean, I think one of the comments here a minute ago was Shakhtar have played 10 years out the last 11 in the Champions League. This is your first season back in
the big time.
You know, 5 years in there. So I mean, it does take its toll now, especially when you've got a squad who they just get flung together. They've been flung together there 3 transfer windows. and you're asking them, you're exposing them to that light and asking them to go and shine. It's going to take time, mate. It's going to take a bit of getting used to it. It's going to take a bit of time to develop that and, you know, put that ways, you know, and get put that into ways that we get used to. But obviously, Ange just spoke highly about that, Ryan. Ange just spoke about, you know, sustaining, being in the Champions League year in, year out, getting us there. Obviously, you do something at a period of time, Ryan, you become better at it. It's only obvious, mate. So practice gets you to be better at something.
Yep.
And unfortunately, the frustrating part is, we've had chances, they've been squandered. It's frustrating for us as fans. In terms of level of the team, I think this team have got quality about them. I really do. I just think, again, it's fine margins and they've come up short this campaign. I don't want to start pinpointing the, you know, definitive players and saying, oh, if we had somebody like him, or because we've got somebody like, you know, we've got players similar with a similar level of quality. It's just unfortunate that they've lacked the experience to show the quality on a consistent basis in there. Because the thing is, Ryan, a team like us, we need to be bang on point every game in there.
Yep.
For us to win a shout at getting any results. You know, some of these teams are, you know, they're getting reprieves with a fucking FAs to, you know, to help them, like, get through fixtures, and some, you know, a lot of other teams aren't getting that luxury. But then a lot of other teams in that level as well are also getting, they've got hundreds of millions of pounds to spend. And they can go and spend 70 and 80 million on one guy who's already a ready-made player and already had success with other teams and come into their team for big money. So they've got a wealth of experience playing at that level for a great length of time with other teams, and then they're going to other teams that, you know, so that's what you're up against in there. You're up against guys who are really experienced, and guys who have been, you know, they've been let loose at that level for 5, 6 years, 7 years, whatever it may be, more than your squad. So it's only inevitable that we were going to see teething problems this season, mate, in there, in terms of results-wise and, you know, thing there and there. But, as I say, it's a learning curve, mate, and it's something that we're going to have to come for. Wee technical difficulty here, I can't hear you, mate.
JP, is that it?
Yep.
Right, sorry, a bit of communication there. I don't know what happened with the StreamYard there, but far away, sorry.
I hope you heard everything I said, because I don't really fancy going through all that again.
I didn't. You need to do it again, mate. I don't know what happened. Just don't know.
Right, I'll need to cut it short, because obviously what I was mainly saying was, is you're up against teams in there that have got a wealth of experience. They've probably got a wealth of money, who they can go and spend big money on guys who are already ready-made players that have played in that level again with other teams. They're coming to that team off the back of maybe being successful with another team who's played at that level, and they've been in that sort of light for a number of years. So they, you know, so teams are swapping it about. You know, players getting passed about like a scud book in Berlin. It's you know, no, do you know what I mean? It's kind of that's the way it is. It's you know, he'll go there and then he'll go there and then you know, you look at Eden Hazard. He played in the Champions League with Chelsea, and then he leaves Chelsea, he goes to Real Madrid. You've got guys like Timo Werner, again, played in the Champions League with Leipzig, played in Europe with Leipzig in the Europa League, Then he goes there to Chelsea, plays in the Champions League. So players are getting exposed to that level season after season. So it's kind of, it's really hard, whereas none of your guys, apart from McGregor, Hart and Forrest, have ever really played at that level. And the last time they played at that level was years ago.
Aye.
So they're no one there every season sustaining it. I know we had a couple of back-to-back seasons in it under Brendan, but unfortunately, and this is Angie's first sort of season in the Champions League with that squad. So what I basically said there, I've actually shorthanded it all. I basically said that it's going to take a bit of time to develop it properly. And to do that, you need to keep the players, to try and keep the squad together you've got. And there's a good chance it's going to happen as well. Like, if you're, just say for talking shit, you win the league, you're going straight back in next season. The players, you seen Matt O'Reilly's interview last night after the game. He highlights we, as in a squad, about 3 or 4 times within that post-match interview that he done. And he says, no, we'll be back better next season, we'll do this. It makes you determined. I remember when we lost the league to Mob Across the, well, the old Mob Across the Water, not that tribute act that's there now. When we lost the league to them, when Neil was the manager. And you heard guys like Tomo and Lenny and Henrik, and you know, they were all saying, oh, we were determined. And then they bounced back and won the league with a record amount of points, a record amount of goals. It gives you that bit between your teeth, Frank. See, when you know you've disappointed your manager, you've disappointed your fans, I can only imagine, mate, that it must, your world must fall in about you and make you want to do everything, work harder, do everything you can to make it right, because you know you've upset a lot of people. And going with the way Ange talks, and you've heard him on all sorts of different interviews now, podcasts, even the ones he's done with Australia, Michael Bridges, the people that he talks to, he gets us, right? He knows what we're all about. He knows that some guys it revolves around the whole week. Some guys, some guys his annual leave is just took up just run about Celtic's fixture list. That's what it means to people, mate. And as much as I love football, I mean, obviously I've got other aspects in my life as well that I love doing as well. So, but i.e. my family and everything else. But you can see what he means, because it does mean a lot to us. We're sitting here frustrated now because we know individually the players, we know they're better than that. We've seen it, but we've seen them shine at a higher quality. They've just come up short in this campaign in front of goal. I can't even say defensively, we've been red rotten, because we've not. Although we've conceded, I know that sounds absolutely a maniac saying there, but we've not really been bad defensively. As a collective, I think we've done okay. We've conceded goals. It's only natural you're going to concede goals in the Champions League, especially the way Ange wants us to play. Ange wants us to play on the front foot, so we're expansive. Our full-backs are coming inside, but then they're going out wide, and then they're overlaps and different overloads, and try to interchange with the 6, 8, the 10s in the midfield. So it's only obvious that there's going to be a gap here and there. Especially when you're putting that much energy in against a team like Real Madrid, and you might not have a lot of the ball, but then your press has got to work against them to force them back. So it's harder with Giakoumakis. I've said this before, as much as a big man's quality in the box and what he does for the team, but see when we try and when we're in transit, when we've not got the ball and we're in transition, we can't set high because he's not as mobile as Maeda and Kyogo. So we've got to sit in with a mid press. You've got to sit with him. It's impossible not to, mate, because he's no physically mobile enough to scoot about and get across to the two fullbacks at either side when they try and play. It was like last night, I know, in my opinion, their goalie was trying to play first-time boys, whereas our left winger at all times, even Haskabanovic and then Maeda when he came on, were sleeping because the ball was going there all the time. So I think it was Kyogo. He's trying to wave to Maeda to get him up.
See, that's what I didn't. Again, for me, I'm just talking to when I play, for my mental state here, right? See, for me, as a forward, right? See, I think we had to wise. We didn't wisen up to what they were trying to do. They were trying to play for the back all the time, right? And for me, see if you press a team, right? A team should know. Obviously, the teams like PSG, etc., understand that they can do it, right? But see if you practice that. Why do we not learn that they're going to do that? Every time they just pass it through us. And I'm thinking to myself, you should know that that's the way. Some of the stuff for them is very dodgy. And I'm thinking, we're going to get one here. And I'm just thinking, see if we press them a bit. I don't think I'll press them.
You can only press with the free, Ryan, because if you press with the free, just say for talking shit, you do it the first 2 minutes and then you press with the free.
Mm-hmm.
Then the free need to drop off. It's only inevitable they need to drop off because they can't then reconstruct that press again right after.
Obviously, there's a time and a place where you press. There's a time where you go, you stay, you track. There's totally different when you go and press. But I think eventually, near the end of the game, we'll wise about it. But I agree with you in terms of we're just short, a wee bit short. I think that's just a wee bit short. But we're not winning this competition all the time. A few comments on YouTube, JP. Sorry if I get this name wrong. Elias, I think. Teams that have had exposure to the Champions League football are naturally comfortable playing, don't have nervous energy or lack of composure issues. Our players will get that in time. Loving the show, lads in Fiji. Thanks, pal. No, I do agree. In terms of the more teams playing it, they're used to it. They're used to the surroundings, used to playing this fast. It's a very, very fast-paced atmosphere. It's a fast-paced competition. Teams that we don't face, naturally, when you go in, you play them. It is a big difference. I do agree with that in terms of that as well. Me personally, it is a step up. It is a big step up, even Europa League to the Champions League. It's a massive step up. Mm-hmm. But it just shows as well, JP, some pundits and radio stations giving us a bit of jip, right? Teams like Man U can't qualify for this competition. We qualify for, at least we're there. At least we qualify. We're trying to put ourselves in there. Teams like Man U, teams like Spurs, etc., they can't qualify for this competition. So I want to say we've embarrassed. Another comment as well, mate. For Stevie, no way have we been terrible. We parked the bus and went toe-to-toe. Just experience. That will come, and 1 or 2 more experienced players will definitely road. That's my opinion. You probably summed it up a bit right there, mate, to be honest, Stevie. Experience does count. A bit more quality in the team. A bit more know-how in the competition under this manager as well. Like you say, JP, it's his first era in this competition. So he'll know more now for next year. I just think it's fine margins, my opinion, mate. It's fine margins, tactically, quality, everything. But if you look at, like you say, mate, if you look at the whole back, I know it sounds stupid. If you score the goals, you're going to win the games. But if you take 1 or 2 of their chances in their games, it's a different game. If McGregor scores that goal enough, which against Madrid, you get your tails up, the crowd's up. I'm not saying they'd win the game, but Madrid would have probably gave them a fucking bit of a fight, and their quality went, right, fuck this, boys, we need to up this. And they might have upped it and beat his enemy 2-1 or something, but it gives you a different mindset the rest of the match. If you're 1-0 up, you can maybe then go and try and defend. I know, I'll be honest with you, I don't think we can defend for 90 minutes. I don't think we can do it at this level yet. I think we're still suspect to go at the back, but
we're not set up, Ryan, to be a defensive teammate. That's not the make-up of that team.
We're set up. People say we play 3 up front, but we actually look at the game. We actually go to a 5 midfield. The wingers come in, so technically it's only a 3 up front when you're attacking. The thing again, I think I've noticed it all the way through this. I think I've said to you, JP, I think you did a remade to some parts of it. When we play the two up top, just say last night, Hasebanovic Abada, right? Mehr Abada in terms of Hasebanovic, he's leaving Juranovic with a massive, massive hole. He's playing away. I know it's probably what the manager's asking, but I don't like it because he's playing so high. In Scotland, I think you get away with it. But when you're playing so high, Juranovic is left with a massive gap. And I noticed it the second half with Forrest as well. He's playing high up. And I'm sure it happened for their second goal. The second chance. The boy, it should have been a fucking goal. How have you missed that? I don't fucking know, right? That's an Ori Blipper DVD for years to come. That's a shambles. Ivanovic is basically himself in that wide. I'm like myself, where's Forrest? Where's Forrest? Because he's probably told to play high up, there's a big gap there. I don't know what you think, JP, but I think teams like Real Madrid, PSG, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, if you're playing like that, it happened in Leipzig, we get caught out in Leipzig because he's playing so high, your right back's left with 2 or 3 men, and you're getting killed. And I think stuff like that, experience-wise, tactically, I think Ange might know for better. Again, I'm not telling Ange today, he's more qualified than me. But for me as a fan, I just thought that was a bit too much suspect because you're going to get caught. If you're not getting the quality to combat that at the back, which I don't think yet we have, you're leaving yourself a bit of a hole there.
Aye, I would agree. That actual passage I play that Carter Vickers gets dragged away there to try and tackle Mudryk. In my opinion, Juranovic isn't in compacting set because he's went wandering. I don't even. It's not the day with Forest. The passage I play is not the day with Forest. If you look at it back, Juranovic goes wandering. And I think it's Hatate again, practically a first-time pass, and it's just not there.
About it here last night, I don't want to criticise him because I think he's quality. That was one of his poorest games I've seen him play for us last night, personally.
A lot of his passes just weren't, they were going wayward and going astray and just weren't finding a man. And he wasn't poor as in, like, some players have been, but he certainly wasn't he wasn't as effective as what he's been personally. But in terms of that passage I played for that led to that chance for the boy missing, I don't know how. Jesus, Johnny, man, I don't know what he's done, man. I really don't. That'd have been a long plane journey home for that boy, man. I'm telling you. I reckon he'd have been sitting probably. They'd have probably made him sit next to the toilets. Every time that toilet door swung open, man, he was getting a laugh.
I guarantee he was texting Gio in the airport, wasn't he, mate? I think I'll be on your Peppa Pig sandwiches soon after that.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's on his transfer list. Seems to be all the daddies seem to go together, don't they? But no, as I say, it's thingy. I don't know what he's done. It was easy to score and what that boy actually tries to do. I don't know how he finds that angle just to go by the post.
I don't know if he just tried to tap it in because the pace is on the pass and he's just fucked it.
I don't know, but like I say, the boy Mudryk has done everything for him. All he's got to do is just put it in the net, and I don't know what happens to the boy, I really don't, but we get away with one there. Big time. But for Carter Vickers getting dragged across, Juranovic goes wandering, in my opinion, and again he switches off, and that's a couple of times now I've seen him do that, and I wouldn't say it's a worry, but it's certainly a big coaching point I'd be taking forward for Juranovic now, in terms of being a bit more alert in your surroundings, because you can't just go forward and leave us with 2 centre-backs sitting themselves.
I know.
Somebody, like, even I think in that moment in time, Matt O'Reilly forgot he was playing as a 6. No, seriously, because he's always in and round about Hatate for passing, so he was kind of there, and I was like, right, you now need to go back. But he's been playing in there now for quite a while. Actually, every time he goes forward, I worry about him now. I think he's going to start bleeding for the nose. Because I'm like, right, you shouldn't be too. Don't you start getting carried away and think you're Tom Rogic again. Come on, you get back here and sit in and protect our back 4. But no, as I say, mate, it was just a whole night of frustration for many different reasons. And like I say, mate, I don't want to start trying to bring people down and slagging people. I don't like doing that, but and that's just personal choice. But there is coaching points, throughout the team, and obviously, moving forward, we've got work to do in terms of game awareness and tactical awareness in the actual type of games, because there's been moments where we've been really good. There's been moments where we've we've switched off and it's cost us. Every time we switch off, it's going to cost us. And it's game 5 now, and they need to catch on. They're going to have to catch on, because if they don't, then we're going to see the same mistakes happening. And I don't want that. I would rather we move on for this campaign, and then next season, if we're there, we see an improvement. It doesn't need to be a significant improvement. It just needs to be an improvement and a step forward for this season. I.e., we win a game, and we look a bit more, with it, and in certain moments in games, we aren't showing signs of negative energy or anxiety or getting your cobwebs shaked off right now, because believe in yourselves that you can be there at this level. Giakoumakis has scored his first goal in the Champions League now. Here's hoping now that's the floodgates starting to open for him. And moving forward, in there, he sort of starts to get himself in really good positions to be on the end of a lot of other things. I think last night a lot of the crosses were getting put in there were disappointing, because some of Haskabanovic's crosses weren't even beating the first man. So and he's going to maybe need to work on that whip and all with the ball. But the comment earlier on about Aaron Mooy, I don't see all the negative stuff with Aaron Mooy. I really don't. He's got a different style, a different way of playing the game. I think he's a very clever player. I think some of his wee passes last night were very clever. Aaron round the corner, and Forrest cut a good balls right across the box, nobody on the end of them. Again, that's people not being alert enough in certain moments and not being switched on. You've got to get in front of your man. You've got to try and make runs and make a nuisance of yourself. And but as I say, mate, it's every Celtic fan that'll probably, we're all frustrated, and it's going to be a massive learning curve for us all. And certain moments we need to improve. Do we need other players? We probably do. We probably need one or two to come in and help the team. And I don't want to say that are going to be better, because, well, obviously that would be a Brucey bonus. But in terms of the level of quality, we love the boys that are there now, so we've ranted and raved about Kyogo and Jota and Hatate and all the boys from Matt O'Reilly. So if a guy's going to come in and displace one of them, then he's going to need to be really fucking good to come in and take any of their positions. And then don't forget, I mean, obviously it feels like an eternity, but it's only going to be after the World Cup. McGregor's going to be fit. So he's going to come back in. We've missed him. I think we've missed Big Starfelt as well. I think Big Carter Vickers has actually missed Big Starfelt as well, because he seems on edge, as if he's no that, but he looks a lot more comfortable with Starfelt. Maybe that's just the way it seems, because they played the whole of last season together. I don't know. But I also think Big Jens has done well as well. I think he's been really good in certain moments as well. And for me, Greg Taylor's outstanding. I thought he was really good last night again. Massive shout out to Greg Taylor. I thought he was probably one of the best players in the pitch for us last night, to be honest. The wee ball, the reverse pass he played through in the blind side of the defender through for Maeda. I would agree with that. That comes down to game awareness and experience as well, Francis. When you're talking about composure and everything else, I think that comes down to being alert in moments and fully switched on. And when you play at that level for a sustainable period, you get a feel for it. You get to know what's expected of you. And a line comes with that as being comfortable, and then obviously what Francis says there, composure. So I would agree with that too, mate.
It's only composure. I agree. I totally agree. Experience and composure. Experience obviously helps, but this is what I'm saying about, like you're saying, JP, we can't afford to spend £50 million on strikers, right? Guys like Timo Werner and Kunku, Benzema, they're already composed. That's why they're playing at that level. They're scoring their goals. Kyogo in Scotland, he's composed, he'll score their goals, but I just think, like you say, I don't know if it's disbelief, if it's confidence, I don't know what it is, but I guarantee you, if we had a Benzema up front, we're probably winning the games because of how clinical the guys are. I think that's, I'm most, by the way, I think the two up front are wrong for us. That's no criticism. I'm just saying, in terms of the Champions League, that's the quality you need to get to. Again, another year in the Champions League next year, hopefully, that will progress them. Kyogo, like you say, Kyogo's no came for the Premier League. Hatate, O'Reilly, they've came for standards that are no, but we don't see every week in the Premier League or the Spanish League. The J League is a decent standard, but to jump up to Champions League, that's a big difference. O'Reilly, MK Dons.
But you've just said it, Ryan, the league standard as well. So we're not being tested.
That's what I'm
look
saying.
at your Man Cities, your Arsenals, your Liverpools and your Chelseas. And
it's like Man City, right? They played Copenhagen. They're playing against teams better than them in the league. And then
that's what I'm saying.
So it does make a difference. People might think me and you're talking rubbish here, which is fair enough. We've all got opinions, but I do feel that we don't get tested in Scotland, so when you do go into this big jump, it's like, whoa, it's a bit of a shock. It's a bit of culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are better, they're quicker,
because you're coming for being the most dominant team in the league, the best and the cream of the crop in that division.
I've always said,
and then you get in there against teams that are levels above you.
It's like
because they're being tested domestically in every other league. You look at the German league, they all play an expansive brand of football. The Spanish league's the same. It's all very technical and like all the teams are all. You look at the leagues, mate. All the teams can beat one another. Whereas here, it's
only really it's
a shock, right? Do you know what I mean? But in the other leagues, like if Bayern drop points, it's like, oh, but Frankfurt are in the Champions League. They're a decent side. Or Frankfurt won the Europa League. They're a decent side. Or Borussia Dortmund have always been renowned for having good teams. And I mean, they drew with Man City last night. Does that mean Man City are shite?
I know.
So, Man City didn't beat Dortmund last night, and they took their fucking star striker. So, and he wasn't able to score. So does that mean Haaland's all of a sudden fucking no go at it? And it's ridiculous.
But that's the type of like, some fans as well, because Juranovic or fucking whoever it is has a bad game. That's saying bad players now. They might, just because you can't play at a certain level doesn't mean you're a bad player. It's like I keep see guys are nobody at Celtic. I might say they're not good enough for us or straight for us. They just can't play at this level yet. They maybe go and play at League One, or they might go and play at League Two somewhere else, or the Championship, or go abroad and do it. Mickey Johnson's flying around Portugal, right? But at Celtic, he just couldn't do it now because if it's injuries, mentally, whatever it was, tactically.
But this is the reason Ange put him out there in the first place, right?
He's gone to Portugal and he's probably going to learn a different culture, a different way of playing, different way of tactical. He's flying in Portugal. No doubt he's going to come back and try and put himself into Ange's squad. So that's the difference, in my opinion, JP. I don't think it's. I still think, in terms of, I think the full thing is we've not been good enough as a whole. The points total tells you that. That's just the fact. And that's just the fact. People, fans might say, we've got a lot of faith in the squad. We've got a lot of faith that they will try and win. Even though I
think some really good performances. But we've not been able to match up the results.
It's just frustration because of the moments in games that could have changed the ties or changed the group as a whole. A bit more quality. You can see about people can talk about investments and money. The simple fact is we cannot go and spend £20 million in a fucking striker or a fucking tip. We just can't do it. It's never going to happen unless you say we get somebody from Qatar or Brazil or somebody from South America, like a Glazer, to come in and give you money. Simple fact is, sorry saying Dermot Desmond's a billionaire in Ireland, but Dermot Desmond doesn't, his money's no Celtic money. It's not just all, there's all shareholders and it's all different. You can't just go and spend 20 million. See if we buy a player for £20 million, right? You probably need to give him $100,000 a week in wages. Then you need to give him bonuses. You need to you need to bring in about at least £50 million probably just to pay his fucking salary. It just can't happen. It's not a business sense. This is what fans didn't realise as well. Celtic will run as a business. It's a football club to us, but when you take a step back, it is a business. So, like me and Baz and you were talking about earlier night, if somebody buys £20 million for Matt O'Reilly, you need to think about it because it's business sense. If we sell for
£20 million for 1.5, so
that's what I mean. So if you're going to make £18.5 million profit, and then you buy somebody else worth about the same amount of money and sell them on, that's the way we work. Unfortunately, like Kieran Tierney, he's interviewed by obviously Daryl Curry and Sutton, brilliant interview. I enjoyed it. he was very honest. You can see he's a massive Celtic fan. You can see he was hurt with some of the jippy goat. You can see that he didn't want to leave, but obviously for that amount of money, the club had to sell him. There was no doubt the club had to sell him for that amount of money. We can't.
Not just that as well, Ryan. I think the club were a wee bit mischievous in terms of they must have known longer term Kieran was going to be hurted with injury.
Yep. Big, sorry to cut you off here, Jake. A big comment for Francis. Last wee comment, and then we'll wrap up the pod, mate. And I agree. I'm 63 years of age. I've seen Celtic since '67 against superior teams. Composure does breed confidence, and I include the fans in being a bit less frantic and pressing the players to play the ball too quickly at times, and then turn on players when they lose possession for rushing it. Keep the faith. I think Ange O'Grady does good show, boys. Thanks, Francis. Thanks for listening.
Cheers, Francis. Thank you.
I do agree, Francis. Composure and it's a big thing. If you're composed, like you see all these players, JP, this is why they're playing at the top level, because they're composed and they take their time, and then they're 2 or 3 steps ahead. Like Modric will get the ball, but he already knows where he's passing the ball. He's 2
or 3 passes ahead of everybody else.
Already. He knows where he's. I actually watched him quite closely when he played us, and also went to the game, and you see these guys close up and personal. These guys are already scanning before they've already got the ball. But when you watch Messi, I know Messi, he fucking O'Reilly's it's a total different fucking kettle of fish, right? But but that's the difference. That's why these guys are at that level, because they're scanning. They know where to go. Right? We're getting the ball and going, right, where do we pass it? In Scotland, we look like we're scanning and we're a step ahead. Like Hatate, for me, in Scotland, he's a step ahead of some of these guys. But it just shows when you go to that level, wee tweaks and wee things, you'll get to that level eventually if you keep going and you keep getting fitter, you keep getting sharper, you keep going with the manager's asking. But I think the full thing of the campaign, there's still a game to go, JP, so we can't comment the whole campaign yet. But in terms of the last 5 games, I think it's frustration. It's not been clinical enough. And let's be fair, fans might not like it. Just not good enough yet. 2 points tell you that. 3 goals, I think. As a whole, as yet, not good enough. And just frustration. I think, JP, that's the biggest thing. It's frustration that we've just... Wee small margins, we're maybe getting there, but no there yet.
No, I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. As I say, it's kind of no baby steps, but it's building blocks, mate. You know what I mean? It's kind of you need to gain the experience to know where you went wrong and try and rectify it. Go on again. And as I say, I do firmly believe the manager. You could see his frustration last night, although he was trying to back the players publicly. I would imagine there'll be a few words having to be said indoors, maybe, because overall it's been a total frustration with us all. In terms of front of goal, it's not happened for whatever reason. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it, mate. I'm only trying to think about, I played the game, you played the game. You're just trying to think of, possibilities as to what which went wrong for them. My only one I'm coming up with is the experience and lack of experience at the level, and naivety in a lot of our play. Think that you can get away with certain passing movements, and you get away with that against Ross County, and that you're not get away with that against teams like Leipzig and Shakhtar. They're too good for stuff like that, mate. They'll punish you, and it's shown in the other 5 games. So. No, mate, moving forward, I just want to see us develop. Domestically now, I want to see us kicking on and just try and put our foot to the flare. I know we're 4 points ahead, but I want to see a bit more daylight between the teams, obviously. We've put a lot of pressure on and put ourselves in a good position. We've got a semi-final to look forward to now domestically as well. Potentially a chance to go to another cup final. So I just want to see us kicking on. And as a proactive type manager, I want to put it past the big man to have a couple of deals already maybe in the pipeline for January. He'll probably know the players he wants. He's probably already known Ange, he's probably already fucking had a coffee with him and had lunch with him or had dinner with him or something, that's the way you conduct business. Last year, coming up just after Christmas, we get to Hogmanay and he announces the 3 Japanese boys. So that's how proactive he is, right? Because none of us even seen that. A lot of people didn't see that coming. You heard rumours and you heard this, but rumours is rumours, mate. You know, until they're standing there paraded outside Celtic Park with a green and white scarf, then you don't believe. But when it comes off the Celtic official pages, you know that they've obviously within the travel things, and they were in lockdown and all in Japan at the time, and you know I don't know if they had to do a bit of isolation and everything else. But then obviously the travel, and then it was a couple of days later that you know the boys appeared with the Celtic jerseys outside Lennoxtown, etc. Then there was a settling in period, which we thought was going to be a certain, but it just hit the ground. I mean, apart from Higuchi, Hatate and Maeda hit the ground running for us and became vital parts to the squad. I mean, Maeda scored his debut against Hibs within minutes. So, you know, every player Ange signed have all made a difference for us domestically right away. You know, they've showcased what glimpses of what they're going to use. And now we just need that sustainably now at different levels now. We need them to be able to step the game up when it's required to get into Europe. And we need them to be able to do it domestically. And I think that's the kind of squad Ange wants to build, Brian. I think that's why we're seeing Ange making so many changes each game now. I think we're going to have to get used to that as a support now. I think we're going to have to get used to seeing Ange changing the team, because to be a successful team, both domestically and in Europe, you need a big squad, mate. You need to be able to use the squad wisely. And like I said to you before, mate, it's horses for courses. So whatever Ange feels is going to be needed on the day, that's what Ange will do. I've no qualms, mate, now, because I've got every faith in each one of that squad. They've all showed bits of quality and spells that, you know, that they can hack what he's asking them to do when they're being called upon. Some have had more game time than others. But when they have played under Ange, I don't think a lot of them have really let them down overall over the piece. And I just want to see us domestically now kicking on, because obviously you're going to the Bernabeu next week. You're going to Spain next week yourself, mate. So obviously I hope you enjoy that as well. But you're writing that off right away, because you're going to the Bernabeu, mate. You know what I mean? They beat us 3-0 in Celtic Park. Unless they put out the fucking under-14s, which now I think they're in a position now where they need to maybe win the game.
I think to top the group, they need to win. I think to top it, they get a point. I think so.
Right. Okay.
I think so.
Okay, so it's not going to be the damp squib for them. As
in fact, no. In fact,
no, they're only 10 points.
So Leipzig are on 9, aren't they? So they need to win. They need to win.
They need to win the game to win the group. So that's what I'm saying. So it's, well, that's what I'm saying. It's a kind of. But listen. Sorry, I was laughing. There's nothing new expected of us.
Just enjoy the game. Just go and enjoy it.
Just go and enjoy the occasion, and don't go and embarrass yourselves. Don't do something stupid that you think's going to.
Wee comment for YouTube. Sorry, P. Francis again. Last wee comment, and then we'll wrap it up. Going to back your comments on Mikey Johnson, lads, some players find the jersey too heavy for them, and I think that's why he's doing well abroad, because the pressure of the hoops in front of 60,000 each week doesn't suit every player, no matter the talent they hold. As I think young Mikey was a player, but again, the pressure, I believe toned him. You maybe could have
Francis. Sorry, now. The thing is, Francis, I get your comment, mate, but you can't write the boy off, because we all done the same with Anthony Ralston. And look at Anthony Ralston. His life has totally changed now. And Ange just gave the boy a platform to better himself, whereas other managers probably wouldn't have, and they just scrapped him. Who knows where Anthony Ralston would have been if maybe Lennon was still the manager, because he probably wouldn't be there now.
I don't think so.
And he said himself after his missus gave birth to his daughter, his mindset, everything totally changed. He knuckled down, and look where he went with his game. And now when he comes in my opinion, he just looks every bit as able as Juranovic. That's just my opinion, though. So for my opinion, any Celtic fan that, you know, potentially wants to look at other players and say, do you know what, overall he's not good enough. Maybe that's loan spell over a making of Mikey Johnson. No, that's fine, mate. Totally fair dues. Everybody's got an opinion and all that's the beauty of it. It's not up for me to disagree with somebody's opinion because it's their opinion, it's theirs. I'm not asking somebody to change that. I wouldn't do that. Do you know what I mean? An opinion, in my opinion, an opinion isn't up for discussion. It's somebody else's view, which is the beauty of it. See, if we were all the same, what a fucked up world this would be.
Well, it just shows you, like, see what Francis says, right? Last night, fans are thinking Moy wasn't good or this guy wasn't good. But I thought Moy done okay when he came on. And I thought that certain things, so that's, we all see the game differently.
Well, there's one I know, right? Some of us were saying that, Matt O'Reilly probably had a quieter game than normal, but he's been given UEFA fucking player of the match. Stoney with the UEFA Champions League trophy at the end of the game.
Another comment, sorry, and then we'll wrap up with the way.
You've been saying that for the last 5
I know,
comments.
but I'm enjoying myself. It's a coffee club, and you enjoy a coffee. Hail, boys. All I needed is to take their chances. Sorry for Joseph. Keep Ange also got to keep the. Sorry, I'll start again. Boys, all we needed is to take their chances and keep Ange also got to keep change the team. So keeps all training Ange. We're going new players will come in. Money does not get you trophies. Man City, Barca, etc. You're right, Joshua. It doesn't always guarantee you trophies as well, mate. I also agree with Frank as well. I'll let you finish as well, JP, if it's to Frank. But I do agree with Frank that in terms of he's going abroad, he's not getting the pressure here. He's got a bit of maybe he's a bit more relaxed because I don't think Guimaraes, Victor Guimaraes are fighting for trophies every week. I don't know how they are in terms of.
Listen, see the league. The league's a good start.
Listen, it's a competitive league. You've got Porto, Braga, Benfica, Maritimo. I don't know if he's
Sport Lisbon or not.
Lisbon as well. So he's playing against decent players. He will have a different way of playing football tactically, and he'll learn the language.
Have you seen some of his passages of playing the goals he's scored?
He's doing very well. He's doing very well. So I think with Francis in terms of he's obviously had less pressure now. He's going away a bit of freedom. Go and play your football. Go and enjoy yourself. Come back a better player, hopefully. I think Francis, for Mikey Johnson to get in the Celtic squad, I think he's got to come back and hit the nail on the head running. No get injured. Come back, get a good pre-season, and the fans plays him. He's got to make an impact to show himself because Hastabanovic is here for a few years now. Jota's here for a few years. Forrest is still here for a few years. Abada, Maeda, he's maybe 5th or 6th choice in the pecking order.
All our wingers are all different, right?
Aye.
They're all different types.
I do agree with Francis. Again, Francis, like me, mate, I would never criticise people's opinions. Sometimes I think people's opinions are wild. Mine could be wild, so... but you just, I never criticise someone's opinion.
Most of mine are wild anyway, I know that.
Because I can be fact on Derek Taylor. I said the only opinion about him, but he's got to do a bit better than Europe for me to think he'd be a Celtic left back, and he's done well in Europe this year. Can I criticise him? I can't. I'm not going to criticise him again. I'll criticise him only if he performs poor in a match on that day, which is fine. That's us as fans. That's what we do.
No. It needs to be over a period of time, Mr. Clifford, because then it's sustainable. Because if it's one game, you can't say. Because then people are going to say, he must be your scapegoat, mate.
No, you can't criticise and say, you're pish. I'll just say that game, you weren't good enough. But in terms of what you've done in the past, he's been. So for talk's sake, Sunday, if Greg Taylor has the worst game of his life, I'm not going to say that's him honking again. I'm just going to say, right, it's a bad match. If it's 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row, right, that's different. But as a collective, Greg Taylor's been superb. So I wasn't just the first guy. It was to say Greg Taylor wasn't enough.
No, I know you weren't. But I like having chuckle just because of the turn of foxes we've seen with Greg Taylor. Really.
It was the same, but thanks, Murray. Thanks for tuning in, mate. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
But one before we go, there's an interview with Kenny Dalglish when he's a Liverpool manager, and a guy says something to him, and he says, "Have you ever played football?" And the guy says, "No." He says, "I've been booed."
Aye. That tells you. Aye.
He says, "I've been booed." He says, "Tell me a player that's not a bad game."
Exactly. Aye. But that's the thing with some of our fans as well, right? Janovic had a bad game against who was it? Recently. Was it the game at Leipzig? He had a bad game for the 2 goals.
Aye, it wasn't great.
Right. But then because he had one bad game, get him out the team. Listen, he might have bad games, but I'm being honest here. That Janovic is better than Ralston, right? Don't care what anybody says. That's my opinion. nobody's got to try, in my opinion. People might think Welsh is a better player.
Fair enough.
Right? He's playing with Croatia week in, week out, so you're not a shite player. People might go on this thing about Barisic, right? The year Barisic played with Croatia, it was fucking brilliant for Rangers. It was brilliant, and I think Barisic is actually a decent player. If he moves elsewhere, I think he'll have a different mindset. I think he just doesn't want to be there, right? But Juranovic for me is a top player.
He looks like one of those electric motors and it's been put. Somebody's flicked the button and it goes the other way.
I'm doing a Tony Adams.
That's just for Saturday night when he was on Strictly.
That's what happens. You have 2 coffees in the morning, you're fucking jittering. But I do agree in terms
2 double latties and a can of Monster.
But I'll let you get back to Frank and then we'll wrap up, JP.
You need to bring a point back up again. You were talking and I've just.
No, I was talking about Mikey Johnson about obviously less pressure now if he's leaving Celtic in front of 60,000.
Oh, aye. In terms of Mikey Johnson, listen, make no bones about it. Anybody, Mikey will set his own. He'll try and set his own standards first and foremost because you do that as a player. It's only inevitable. You try and be the best as you can be. He's went earlier. Ange, by the way, Ange gave him a new contract as well. So Ange must see something in that boy to say, I'm giving you a new contract, but listen, I think you'd be benefit for a loan deal, get you away from all the fucking press and media and everything here, get your head together and find your mojo again and let's get going. Because Ange, see technically now, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to say this about Mikey Johnson. See technically, he's one of the best in the team.
Oh, he's good.
I do not care what anybody says. They can shoot me down. That's my opinion. He's one of the best in the team. He can eliminate people with skill. He's absolutely frightening. All you've got to do is go and look at interviews with guys that have played with him. There was one with the boy who plays with Open Goal, Broomhill, Brock Watson. He's good pals with him. And he played with him. And he swears by him. He's the best player he's ever played with. There's another couple of players. I think the boy Sam Wardrobe.
Aye, Sam said it as well.
He knows him and all. He's good pals with him. Calvin Miller, Dylan McGee. These are all boys that have played beside Mikey. They all know what he's capable of. And they've all said, Francis, see, to be honest with you, mate, I cannot wait to see him when he comes back. Because I also think, looking at him,
he looks
like he's developed physically in terms of his stature, on like his physique. He's grew his hair a wee bit, so he looks different again. He looks a bit more funky. But looking at some of the passages I play, I've seen through YouTube, I've seen a bit on Y-Scout and all, he looks as if he's found that wee bit of mojo that Ange wanted him to find, right? He wants the ball, he's showing for the ball all the time. He's taking people on, he's eliminating people, he's beating 2 or 3 players, and then he's laying it off. Some of the shots, I mean, he done one I think it was 2 games ago for him. He came off the bench. Again, they're a team that like to use their squad, and as he cuts inside off it, he just, mate, the boy, I was even shouting at the telly, watching it on the YouTube. I was like, oh my God, get us a hot dog when you come back through the turnstile, eh? Because he sends a boy, he just sends a boy. The boy's away for holiday, seriously. I'm like, oh man, stop that. And he just cuts inside and curls and he hits the post, same as McGregor, hits the post the way he did against Real Madrid. And anyone else in the post, the ball goes in, the ball came back out. And the other big Guimaraes striker puts it in. But he's been flying right, for what I'm hearing, for what I'm seeing. And they're actually, their fans and I think one of the coaching staff have labelled him a mini Messi.
I've seen that comment.
That's a big compliment to him, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
And that's the impact he's having on their team. He's now, but by the way, they talk about pressure. He's now coming for Celtic, where he's probably not the main man, to now potentially labelling himself as one of the main men in that team.
Aye.
So he's now becoming, all eyes are going on to him. So that'll bring a pressure as well, right? And again, he's playing in a good standard. He's playing in a good league with some really good teams in and around about him. I know they're probably like they're maybe like the fucking Motherwell in that league, or St Johnstone in that league. And that's the thing as well, Joseph. He's had loads of injuries. Wee daft niggling injuries that have put him out for a while. Probably injuries that have went to him mentally. And then when he's coming back in, see when you're at games, Ryan, when he was getting brought on, all your fans were on top of him, mate. That must be dead hard, I know. For the mental side of it as well. Your boy must be going off the park going like, for fuck's sake, they're turning against me. He's got to be. No, so maybe Ange just sensed that off the boy. Maybe the boy's lacking a lot of confidence.
He's told to go away, get yourself sorted, get yourself
playing.
Look,
I think you've got it. I think you can do it. But you just need to go and get ready and get games under your belt, get minutes under your belt, earn a bit of pride back in yourself. And
who's to, but I know this might sound daft, but who's to say that he might want to stick it there if he want to keep him? He might want to stay there.
There's no an option, Ryan. I don't think there is an option for him to stay.
Just for talk say he want to bid for him. They might want to buy him.
Well, that's the case as well. Then obviously Celtic have got a decision to make then, mate. But overall, mate, I think Celtic have got a plan in place for Mikey Johnson. I think there's got to be some sort of plan in place.
He might be thinking sangria tastes better than Iron Brew.
Aye, well maybe aye. He's probably sitting on the porn star martinis most nights, you know what I mean? He's like, I've only got a half bottle of Buckfast.
He's watching us and go, cheers, boys.
He's like, I'm only getting a half bottle of Buckfast because we Bernabeu keeps stealing it out my bag.
I know.
But no, overall, mate, like I say, I don't want to write the boy off and say the boy's never going to make the grade, and he's never going to do this, and he's never going to do that. It's foolish to do that because people were saying that about Ralston.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, now, mate, Ralston ain't gone nowhere.
No, never.
Whether he's cover or whether he's playing, I think Ralston's really happy now that he's found a manager who firmly believes in him and he's able to develop his game. Now, in my opinion, mate, we've got two able right backs. I get what you're saying about Juranovic. I think overall, technically, Juranovic is that bit better. By the way, Ralston's becoming better technically.
Well,
the movement of the one at Tynecastle. That was unbelievable.
I think in Sunday, I think Ralston will play.
So they are. Aye, so they are. Because I think obviously then he'll want to keep Juranovic for the Bernabeu. Aye, so they are. I'm not make predictions of that now. Obviously, we'll do that nearer the time. But overall, mate, I just want to see us progress, develop the team, progress, and we try and put our foot to the flare now domestically and try and win as many games as we can. Try and go on a run if we can and get as many really good results behind us as we can because winning breeds confidence, right?
Yep.
And when our players are bouncing off the coach and getting into games and confident scoring goals, that's when they're at the pump and that's when they're flying, mate.
No, I agree, mate. I think now, I don't want to discard Europe yet because you've still got a game to go, but let's be fair, after I did, I would just forget about Europe for another season.
Yeah.
Just focus on the domestic cups in the league. I do believe, again, it might be pre-tempting fate, but I think if we are at a pump, Rangers obviously if they get beaten out, they're totally out as well, so I'd like to think they may get beat. I think if they get a destroying, I think Gio could be off by the night.
I think we might see the end of the Paw Patrol BMX, mate.
If the Paw Patrol and the BMX and the Marmalade sandwiches are finished, we'll need to think about somebody else for next manager. But we'll deal with that.
Him and Mr. Nakai have had a domestic, mate. There's been no Hartley's jam getting spread about for quite a while now, so it's that's how all the booing, by the way. And they're not booing the team's performances. They're booing because he's not getting jam anymore.
I thought that because he had his knife and that wasn't there to spread the jam.
No. The plastic forks disappeared. I know, have you noticed that? And by the way, a couple of weeks ago, the culprit was at Manila. She's biting forks for that now. He's that hungry.
I see, wedding man's like huge. Wedding man, I could day.
I need to watch that, by the way. End up with getting scalps in your tongue, not that halfway wedding forks, you know what I mean?
But I agree, mate. I think in terms of us, I think once, obviously, we're out of Europe and that's dealt with, I think we'll start to steal those teams again. It happened last year when we got Europe, we won 3-4 every week.
Winter break,
again, you've made the mind right, you win any games of football, but in Scotland, you're just about favourites every game. To win by a decent scoreline, but again, it doesn't always happen. I'm like you, mate. Get Europe out of the way. We obviously, hopefully, next year we qualify and you deal with it then. Pre-season, you start dealing with that then. January, maybe start dealing with it if you're in a good position in the league. Just start getting more points on the board, try and get a bit of distance between Rangers. Obviously, we'll look at the big game in January coming up because I think that could determine where the league goes in a wee bit because the teams always do. But aye, mate, I've enjoyed the chat with you and this Wednesday morning now afternoon.
Always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure.
keep smiling, mate. Keep being happy. Hail, hail, mate. And we'll take care. And I'll see you during the week, mate, for the pre-match against Livy. Thanks, mate. Hail, hail. Take care.
Hail, hail, my man. Hail, hail. Always a pleasure, right?